Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, your astrologer, Maria Di Simone. And in today's video, we are going to talk about something that I don't think I've ever talked about on my channel before. It is connected to medical astrology, which is a branch of astrology that is highly specialized and focuses on your body and illness and prevention, cure, treatment of illness when applicable. So I am not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. I am not a medical astrologer. That's not my specialty, but I do know enough about medical astrology through my studies to talk about what I'm going to talk about in this video, which is the planet Venus and it is relationship to hormones, your hormonal health. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman watching this video. This is applicable to you because Venus rules hormones and we all have hormones. And this is fascinating. Now, the moon in astrology rules fertility, and it is a secondary influence in connection to hormonal health with women in particular. But for men and women, Venus is the planet. And I'm going to read something to you. So, in medical astrology, Venus is considered the primary planet associated with hormonal balance and reproductive health, while the moon is linked to bodily fluids, emotions, and the menstrual cycle. Venus is directly related to the endocrine system, which includes hormones and the reproductive organs. It governs the health of the ovaries, uterus, and the overall hormonal balance in the body, especially in women. Afflictions to Venus can indicate hormonal imbalances, menstrual irregularities, and other reproductive health issues. Venus also rules the kidneys and the skin, which can be indirectly affected by hormonal imbalances. And Venus can be linked to testosterone levels in males and women, by the way, because women have testosterone also. And its negative influence can impact these levels. The moon connected to hormones. The moon is associated with bodily fluids, and that includes the blood, the lymph, and other fluids crucial for reproductive health. It influences the menstrual cycle as it is linked to the uterus and ovaries. And a weak or afflicted moon can indicate menstrual irregularities, fertility issues, and emotional instability sometimes, right? Our mood fluctuations. The moon's connection to the brain and nervous system also influences emotional well being, which can affect hormonal imbalance. So when an astrologer is talking to a client and we are guiding you in fertility, for example, we are looking primarily at the moon, but we're also going to look at your Venus. If you are a woman, especially Venus and the moon together is going to give us incredible information about fertility windows and what may be blocking fertility for you. You know, maybe PCOS or some other kind of hormonal issue could be going on for you. Now, if you are a woman of a certain age, like me, I am 51 years old. If you are postmenopausal, menopausal, perimenopausal, then this video is going to be very interesting to you as well, because we are going to talk about these hormonal cycles and the evolution of hormones in your body as it relates to your astrology. And there are certain astrological significators, some indicators that happen for all of us at certain ages that point to this menopausal journey. And finally, if you're a man, this video is also going to be interesting to you because when you are going through some kind of affliction, difficult aspect to your Venus placement, whether it is a square, an opposition, maybe even a conjunction from an outer planet, let's say, to your natal Venus, or a secondary progressed aspect that is difficult to your Venus, or even a solar arc direction, this could be indicative of some hormonal issues that are coming up for you, like testosterone imbalances. And you could be alerted to that at this particular time in your life when you're going through those cycles. So you're going to want to pay attention to this in your astrology. And this might be a little bit advanced for some of you watching this video, but what I'm going to do now is put up my chart and do like a real life astrology example so that you can see how this is working out right now, at least in my life. I have tracked this in male clients with their Venus placement. I have tracked this in female clients, both connected to menopause, perimenopause, the postmenopausal journey, and also fertility. And it is such an interesting, reliable indicator to look at to help you understand more about your unique symptoms that you might be experiencing in your, let's say, menopausal journey. Now, I'm going to talk about transits to Venus in this video, and then I'm going to talk about the secondary progressed moon and its relationship to your natal moon. And that part of the video is going to be very specific for going through menopause from the ages of 43 to about 50 for women. So that is going to be specific for women. But the Venus part of this video, understand that whether you're a man or a woman, any of you who have hormones, which is all of us, all humans have hormones, you're going to want to stick around and see if this video is a little bit enlightening. So I'm going to share my screen. And before I share my screen, I want to point out something on my face because this is relevant to the video and my unique symptoms and my astrology in my current postmenopausal journey. Look at my face here. I don't know if you can see this. It is pretty prominent today. So I have had for several months now this red blotchy situation on my face, right below my eye, above my cheek, right here. It doesn't go away. And depending on the day, it could be bright red blotchy, or it could be very minimal. It could be really almost like it's not even there, but it is there. I see it. It's just not very red and inflamed. It does depend on the day. And this is completely related to my current hormonal shifts that I'm going through. Earlier, I read to you some things that Venus rules. Venus rules hormones. Venus rules the skin, right? Skin. My natal Venus placement is in Aries. Aries in medical astrology rules the head. So the skin issue that I'm having is connected to my face. And that is very appropriate for my particular medical astrology. Okay, so now I'm going to put up my chart here. And what I'm going to do is create a biwheel. And in this biwheel, we are going to have my birth chart in the inner wheel, and we're going to have today's transits on the outer wheel. And so let me stop the share and then share the biwheel again so that you can all see the same thing. There we go. You should be able to see my birth chart and my the outer wheel. It's the current transits for today. So we're going to look at Venus. Venus, again, is a significator of hormones. My Venus is in Aries. Right now, I have a lot of activation to my natal Venus. In particular, look at transiting Saturn and Neptune. They're getting really close to making an exact conjunction to my natal Venus. Now, both of these planets are going to go retrograde before they hit the exact degree of my natal Venus, but early next year, I will get the exact mathematical hits of this. Same thing for this one little sextile here between Pluto to Venus. So that's a little nice dose of support, which is lovely. And what am I experiencing now? Well, I am officially postmenopausal. Okay, I'm in that stage of life. And what I have noticed over the past, I would say, year or so of my life is a complete change in certain ways that my body functions. Okay, certain symptoms that I have that are related to menopause. They're very common to menopause. And recently, in the past 3 months in particular, this showed up, the red blotchy thing on my face. And I have noticed a complete disappearance of my hormones. Like my hormones are gone at this point. I've had my levels tested and I'm very low in basically all of it at this point, including testosterone, by the way, because women should get their testosterone tested as well, not just your estrogen and your progesterone. So Saturn is blocking. Saturn is saying no to Venus right now. Saturn is saying, no more hormones for you. We're cutting you off. Neptune is saying, okay, we're making your hormones disappear. You're losing them. They're evaporating. And these energies are happening in the sign of Aries, which rules the face, the head. And again, Venus does rule the skin. And this is the unique symptom that I am having right now. Isn't that fascinating? So, next year, when these planets come back to Aries after they finish up in Pisces, and I get my exact hits, I know as an astrologer that that is going to be the timing when I most likely intervene in a successful way to remedy the hormonal issues that I am currently experiencing. And for me, I know that the problem will be solved and there'll be some support because I will have an exact sextile of Pluto to Venus. And by then, Uranus will have gone into Gemini and will also be engaged in a supportive sextile to my Venus. So there, and my progressed Venus is currently in Gemini, early degree Gemini, sextile natal Venus. So I know from that testimony for me that this is going to get fixed. Right now, I am not intervening yet because right now I know that these hits need to be exact. And if I intervene now, I know there's going to be a lot of playing around with dosage and false starts and some more issues. So I'm kind of leaving it alone for now, very consciously, because I know where my astrology is going early next year. And I know as an astrologer, the best time for me to intervene. And that is my choice. You don't have to intervene and do anything medically when you go through menopause. That's, your body, your choice. You talk to your medical providers, you do your own research, you sort that out for yourself. But, this is absolutely interesting astrology that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, I'm going to stop my share. And now we're going to talk about the fact that this is relevant to men as well. Let's say that chart was not mine. Let's say it was the chart of a man. It doesn't matter if he's a 35-year-old man, a 62-year-old man, that level of Venus activity could, in that person's birth chart, symbolize some kind of changes in his medical astrology with testosterone, with hormones. Now, of course, Venus is the natural significator of love, relationship, of value, beauty, worth, finance. Yes, we have all of that with your Venus transits as well. But this video is focusing on Venus and hormones. So we're talking about a very specific storyline here. Now I'm going to talk about your secondary progressed moon and the interesting relationship that it has to your natal moon and the natural cycle that it goes through. And in particular, this is going to be for women who are between the ages of 43 and 50 years old. And I actually saw a post by one of my colleagues, Rachel Lang. She posted this video, which I thought was fascinating. And so it kind of inspired me to flesh out this subject a little bit more for the menopausal women and for hormonal energy in general. She addressed the relationship between your secondary progressed moon and its closing square to your natal moon. That will happen for everybody at between the ages of 43 and 50. That's when you enter what's known as the closing square, which is the 90 degrees before your progressed moon gets to that conjunction with your natal moon. And this is a cycle that happens for all of us about every 28 and a half, 29 years. Okay, so you would have experienced this. It's called a progressed lunar return. You would have experienced this back in your late 20s, and you're going to experience it again in your 50s. But the third quarter square happens between 43 and 50, and it is a waning cycle. It is the dying cycle, the second time around, right? Related to your fertility. So the first time around, it means something different. It's I'm not going to talk about that. But in the second cycle, the first time around, it's more your emotional readiness to actually experience adulthood and certain things. But that's another conversation. This is about the second cycle. The reality is that between ages 43 and 50, fertility, the reproductive system dies, ends in a woman. And that is another reliable indicator when you are looking at where you are in your progressed moon cycle in relation to your natal moon. And if you see any changes, any transits, progressions, solar arcs to your Venus, you can have a very reliable indicator that, hey, there's something going on here with my hormones and my reproductive health. The other cycle that I have noticed is very common in the menopausal journey is the Chiron return. Now, if you watch me in my work, you know that I am not a Chiron super fan. Okay. I'm not obsessed with Chiron by any stretch of the imagination. I like to keep it simple and focused, highly focused on the planetary energies. That's just the way I practice my astrology, to each his own. Having said that, however, the Chiron return happens for all of us, where Chiron in the sky comes to your natal Chiron placement right before your 51st birthday, about 50, I think it's 50.8. That's the revolution that, it takes for Chiron to go around. And so just before your 51st birthday, you will all experience a Chiron return. And the Chiron return is also connected to menopause for women. So I think that's interesting to also look at. Now I'm going to bring up my chart again. This time, what I'm going to show you is the progressed chart, the progressed relationship between my birth chart and my current progressions, just so you could visually see the connection between the progressed moon and I hope that I've got the right chart here now. Yes, good. Okay. Between the progressed moon, so you could visualize it. So my natal moon is here, right, in Sagittarius. So what we're talking about now is the relationship between the progressed moon, which is here, to your natal moon placement. And when that progressed moon gets to about the 90-degree mark, which would be for me like just under 11 degrees Virgo. So that was way back when here. And that's probably when I really went into menopause, if I think about it, actually. This begins the death of your fertility. This begins the ending of your natural reproductive years. And so your progressed moon is going to travel and move closer and closer towards that conjunction to your natal moon. And once this journey is all about the finishing up, the wrapping up of that. And then that will complete itself by the time your progressed moon gets back to your natal moon degree and you have your second progressed lunar return in your lifetime. So this is pretty interesting stuff to look at, guys. It is, we are, as human beings, we all go through hormonal changes at different times in our life. We all go through fertility shifts at different times in our life. Sometimes we're more fertile, sometimes we're having fertility blocks, or we become infertile. And astrology can really help you lock into your unique patterns, your unique symptoms when you're having hormonal issues. It is fascinating, so fascinating. I wanted to talk about it. I hope you found this interesting and helpful. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.